Is China exploiting BRICS and turning it into a propaganda vehicle for its own interests? And as you think about this question, have a look at the visuals on your screen. That was the Chinese President Xi Jinping receiving a 21-gun salute from South Africa's forces. An honor that's, by the way, not been accorded to any other BRICS leader visiting South Africa. President Cyril Ramaphosa also bestowed on the Chinese leader the Order of South Africa. Any idea why? Why is Xi Jinping receiving this special treatment? Well, that's because the Chinese have scored a brownie point by turning this into a state visit. Xi Jinping, you see, is on a state visit of South Africa. On Monday, Xi Jinping arrived in South Africa close to midnight for his fourth state visit to South Africa, and South Africa rolled out the red carpet for the leader. He was received by the host president, Cyril Ramaphosa. He was welcomed with a cultural song and dance performance. He received a military parade by the South African National Defense Forces. And then on Tuesday, the Chinese president met Ramaphosa as part of the official state visit. This year marks 25 years of diplomatic ties between South Africa and China, and Ramaphosa has said that South Africa has a great deal to learn from China's development story. He hailed China for lifting nearly 800 million people out of poverty in 40 years. All of this happened before the BRICS summit in Johannesburg. All this song and dance, so Xi Jinping can push China's image as a voice of the global south. It is a golden opportunity for Xi Jinping to bolster China's image as a global leader. And it happens to coincide with the 15th BRICS summit, where leaders from Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa are meeting to discuss the future of the bloc and how hard it pushes back against a world order dominated by the West. But China, for that matter, comes with its own agenda. You see, it wants to expand the bloc. It wants to turn BRICS into a support organization for its geopolitical interests. It wants to use BRICS to promote its Belt and Road Initiative, and it wants to promote its brand of anti-US rhetoric and also woo Africa.
We have always believed that China and South Africa are major developing countries and emerging markets with significant influence. We need to be global partners in upholding the global justice. We need to strengthen strategic collaboration, practice true multilateralism, and promote the expansion of the representation and voice of southern countries in global governance. We firmly support the construction of African integration. We will support a substantial progress in African Union's ascension to the G20 this year. We support South Africa to play a greater role in international and regional affairs.
The BRICS summit holds a hard geopolitical edge for China, and here's why. Over the weekend, US President Joe Biden hosted his Japanese and South Korean counterparts at Camp David. It marked a deepening tripartite alliance right on China's doorstep. And in response, the Chinese President Xi Jinping is making only his second foreign trip of the year to South Africa. In fact, he will be touting BRICS and China's key role within it as an example of a different world order. Countries like Indonesia, Argentina, Saudi Arabia are all knocking on the door. Leaders from more than 60 countries expected to be in attendance. For China, an expanding bloc would present a vehicle for its more inclusive worldview, quote unquote. China's long-term goal, essentially, is to change the world order into a Sino-centric one. China also has a larger objective as it grapples with its own faltering economy. So, what is China's motive? The topic of BRICS being a productive investment destination in a globalizing world is no longer relevant. South Africa's economy is not in good shape. Russia is facing isolation over the Ukraine war. The once booming economy of China is slowing. Only India has become an attractive destination in this regard, especially as the world moves to de-risk supply chains and move out of China. The issue of BRICS expansion is therefore coming in a very different geopolitical and geo-economic context. It is China which sees its influence waning and therefore wants to expand its influence globally so that it can set itself up as the rival power to the United States. It can bring the potential new members into its economic orbit more tightly. But if BRICS follows China, the group will likely become another avenue for anti-US rhetoric, which cannot be helpful as it risks losing the ability to deliver concrete benefits to developing countries. And this is precisely the kind of scenario that India fears. India suspects that a swift expansion could enable Beijing to give the bloc an anti-Western flavor. And for India, BRICS is an important forum for its vision of a multipolar world order. Equality between BRICS members is its fundamental characteristic, and expansion could threaten to disrupt this balance by pitting India against China. And for now, India finds an ally in Brazil. Bloc member Brazil's largest trading partner is China, but its latest foreign direct investor is the United States. And Brazil is equally wary of losing influence within the bloc, by the way. It stands with New Delhi in resisting China's bid to add new members. But many countries have expressed interest in joining BRICS. Iran and Argentina have shown interest in formally joining the group, while Russia and South Africa are on board with China. India is aware that China is looking to utilize this forum as a way to boost its geopolitical might. India has focused BRICS discussions on South-South economic and financial cooperation projects. India has also pushed for initiatives to reduce global reliance on the US dollar-based payment system. It has also pushed reforms of international financial institutions. Most importantly, India has used the BRICS platform, the BRICS discussion, to give a voice to developing countries. If BRICS follows India's approach, it can promote cooperation among the developing countries. India could lead the grouping's engagement with the G7 to discuss ways to reform the international economic and financial system. India could lead BRICS towards discussing other global problems such as climate change. And therefore, any expansion will have to be based on certain principles. It will no doubt be subject of intensive consultations as the BRICS members gather to discuss the future. It is clear that China's ambitions within the bloc raise pivotal questions about its original purpose. And India's vision of polarity and cooperation among developing countries stands in sharp contrast to China's pursuit of global dominance. As the leaders convene and dialogues unfold at the BRICS summit, the world will be watching closely to see how this dance of interests actually plays out. Will the bloc's unity prevail over Chinese ambitions? Will BRICS stay true to its original mission? Or will it become a platform for competing narratives? The answers to these questions will not only shape the future of the participating countries, but also have broader implications for the evolving global order. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.